DRONR.
Buenos dias, droners! B here, and today we are going to be talking about 10 tips for beginners. If you just want somebody to explain it to you in the simplest way possible, I am here. DRONR is here. We are here for you. Number one, get a micro drone. So on a micro drone, learning these controls is basically a good way of learning crash avoidance. And no matter what kind of fancy drone you're flying, whether it be camera or whatever, crash avoidance is still the same. You want to have the most difficult thing to fly to learn how to fly, so that when you're flying the thing that costs a lot of money, with a camera or whatever you're gonna be flying on it with, you'll know how to do it and it will be easy for you. You're gonna crash the crap out of these little micro drones and they're made for that. And they're really cheap. It's a good way to learn the basics. Get a micro drone, and there's a link in the description that'll actually tell you the best micro drones you can buy. Number two, if the drone app came with a simulator, then you should use it. It's a useful tool just so you can get a hang of how that particular drone flies. Number three, really get to know your controller and controls. Yes, the left stick is throttle, the right stick is moving it forward and back, and the left stick can also turn it in place. But every controller has different things. Like you can adjust the trim. And the trim would be, if you put a drone up in the air and it just starts drifting to the right without you pressing anything, then you normally would correct the trim on the controller so that it doesn't drift anymore and it stays in place. All those little nuances about controllers and controls, you can learn from the manual. I know that nobody likes to read the manual, but you should, because each controller for each drone is a whole different beast, and you should know what each and every single one of those buttons do so you don't fly it into someone's face. Number four, on your first few flights, make sure you fly in a safe and non-populated area. And by safe, I mean a place that's safe not only for you, not only for other people, but also for the drone. Make sure you're not flying in a place like, oh, okay, let me go fly my first time in Sherwood Forest. Why would you fly a drone in a forest? There's trees, and trees are the natural predators of drones. You cannot fly drones around trees unless you are a boss drone flyer. So I would recommend going to an open area with nobody else around and then flying there. That's where you learn how to fly. That's where you learn how to get the control and the stability of the drone so you don't run it into one of its predators. Number five, blade health is vital. I recommend that you have a blade guard. This is really helpful because if you are flying a helicopter, a quadcopter, a hexacopter, whatever it is, the thing that makes this fly is not a wing, it is a blade. And the shape of the blade is very important to the stability and control of that copter. Every time before you fly, you need to make sure those blades look exactly how they looked, or as close as they can to how they looked when you bought it. They need to be straight, they need to be concave or convex or whatever way they're twisting. It needs to be good, because if it's not, you're not gonna have full control or stability of the drone. So make sure you are aware of your blade health. I recommend always buying extra blades and batteries with any drone you get. Number six, speaking of controls, you should always make sure that you are being really gentle with the controls. A lot of the first time flyers, they will just jack the throttle all the way up as soon as they get it, and they will lose the drone because it will lose connection to the controller if it's a micro drone, because it went too high, too far, and too fast. The more of a gentle move you can do, the more smooth you can be with it, the better camera operator will be, and the better you'll be at controlling the drone overall. So take it easy on the controls, be gentle, and just have fun with it. Number seven, propellers are very dangerous. Even on micro drones, these things are little blades that are spinning at high speeds, high enough to make this thing fly. You don't want to get your fingers, your hands, your face near that. Propellers are so dangerous that I have included in the description below a regular drone blade destroying cucumbers and bananas, and even like one of those jello-like hands. It's something you should watch, so you should be terrified of these drones. You shouldn't catch a flat drone with your hand. If you are not a professional and you don't know what you're doing, then you need to stay away from the blades, because they will fuck you up. I mean, mess you up. Number eight, know the law. There's a lot of drone laws. Actually, there's another link in the description about drone laws and what you should know about flying. So make sure you look at the drone laws before you ever take any drone outdoors, ever. Number nine, check the weather. That is so important. Before you fly, make sure that you're not gonna be hit with the random rain, wind, snow, sleet, storm while you're flying. Because you can lose the drone, you can lose control of the drone, and it'll get destroyed by those kind of things, and you don't want that to happen. Really important, super easy to do, super quick, just check your phone. Number 10, and everyone hates this one. I actually hate this one too, but read your drone manual. Each drone is completely different. So don't just pick it up and fly it as if you already know what you're doing. You don't. I don't. Nobody knows until you actually read exactly what the buttons and the things do for the drone. So make sure you read the manual. Droners, that is a basic list of what you should know when you are first getting started with drones. This is very helpful, but what makes it even more helpful are all these other videos that I've made so you can learn and get more details about the things that we just talked about. If you want to see some of those drone law videos that I was talking about and mentioning a moment ago, you can click here. And if you actually want to see more about drones in general so you can get really prepared to fly, then you can go ahead and click here. Make sure you subscribe so that we can continue to bring you this content, and as always, stay fly.